not taking anything away from Sloane, who, let's just say, has been incredible, because a year ago she wasn't even playing tennis and she was injured and made 2 of the last 3 slams, and clay is not even her best surface. She likes it, but it's not her best. And she totally earned it, had tough matches and everything. So not taking anything away from that. But it kind of feels that Simona is like the people's champion just because of the reaction. It's been an outpour
from players.
From players, from men's players, from male coaches, female coaches, obviously fans. The Simona chants made their way into the press conference. I mean, how do you explain the outpour of messages for Simona?
I mean, it's something that I've been trying to tell anybody who will listen over the last 12 months, that this kid, and she's not a kid, she's 26 years old, but I know that she's an introverted person. She's very shy. She's a little bit, reticent with media. She doesn't have that bubbly personality of like a Sloane that can kind of charm people immediately. But what you know, and what we have experienced, and I know this for myself because I'm on tour a lot and I'm around her a lot, is she's a very genuine person, and she wears her heart on her sleeve. And that goes with the whole darkness thing that Ben was mentioning before, is that she does, and she's owned up to her failures. She has been asked about it nonstop. She's had to defend herself, and sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes she just comes in and says, when she's laid eggs in finals before, not slam finals, but tour level finals, she's literally come in and said, I need to apologize to everybody, that was terrible. And that, she's very earnest. And so when you're around Simona Halep, which the women in the locker room are, they know her well, they compete against her. I think that they know that she's a genuine person. She's a nice person. She wouldn't harm a fly. She's also fiercely competitive, which I think that they do obviously respect as fellow competitors. And they too have maybe seen her game evolve into something that they really do respect. I mean, it's an interesting thing on the inside versus the outside, because on the outside, Ben and I have this conversation all the time about the concept of consistency. And I'm constantly asking my fellow reporters, why is consistency underrated, right? Everybody cares about the slams, 4 tournaments a year and everything. If you're a player that shows up for 2 weeks out of the year and you win a slam, somehow the entire 10-month season is justified, regardless of the fact that you did that, but your ranking is outside of the top 10, or you did that, but your ranking is outside of the top 5. Simona Halep, since making her top 10 debut in 2014, in January 2014, she has the longest active streak in the top 10 of anyone. She is always in there. This year, she's made, quarterfinals of every event that she's played, except for one in Miami where she lost 3rd round. She's made the final 4 at every tournament she's played but 3. She's always in the mix. And players do respect that, because players understand that's hard. If it was easy, right? Like when we dismissed consistency, then what are we talking about? Because if it's easy, then everybody's doing it. And the fact that there is this idea about the WTA Tour, which I think in 2018, the women have put to rest a little bit, because there has been this kind of group, this peloton, as we often talk about, that have been dominating the tour. But when we talk about, everything's in chaos and you never know what you're going to expect, well, honestly, Simona Halep's been your best bet, since, Serena definitely left the tour, and makes 3 slam finals in her last 5, drew Maria Sharapova and played her to 3 in the first round of the US Open, and I do think if she doesn't get that draw, she goes a lot deeper there. The players know it, the players see it, and so the way that the players judge each other is very different from how it looks on the outside, and they respect players who are nice, who are hardworking, and who, again, put together that game that they respect. And she's a tough out on the tour. I mean, she's to beat her when she plays well is difficult, and when she takes losses, it's because she doesn't show up. And so, there's a little bit of that, but the way that what they value a lot of times is very different than what those of us on the outside value.